Hi, I'm JC Chanowski. I own and Hi, my name is JC.
My name is Squirrel.
Can be even harder and I would I don't like doing scripted videos. But I love you.
What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Oh, I got the day right. And the first time of doing this, it is Sunday. Oh, what is the 5th? Holy cow. That's crazy. Almost Thanksgiving time. 3 weeks until Thanksgiving. Wanted to jump on real quick and just give some advice for scheduling and things that can help your company right now as we get into the thick of everything. Hold on, I want to share. Let me see how I can do this. I can't figure this out. I'm going to do it on my phone. Get this in a couple of the groups, and then we'll get going. But if you're watching, feel free to please comment below. If you want to jump on and talk about anything, I don't care what it is, as long as it involves Christmas. I'll throw you on the group. I can get, I think, 7, 8, 9 of y'all on here. We could do individually, one by one. I've already got somebody standing by, so I can't do this one. Hold on. I need to go to mine. Just want to get this shared to a couple of the groups real quick. But I hope everyone's having a great season so far. Our guys are out there just crushing it right now. We have 5 crews out every single day. And it's definitely stressful. It's not always easy to keep everybody excited and happy during the season, especially for the business owners as you try and grow your company. I'm sure you know that, or you're experiencing that right now. If anybody else is like our company, soon as November 1st hit, those phones started ringing and going crazy, and it was just absolutely insane. I just sent a message to our virtual assistant, Ronnie, who's answering our calls on the weekends, so she could break down where all the leads are coming from, the lead sources and everything. And we're pretty much, I'd say 98% at capacity right now up until Thanksgiving. We could probably fit in a couple more smaller jobs if we were able to hire about 3 or 4 more technicians. We could add to that capacity. We did have a really good start with hiring. We had some really good candidates come in. We hired all of them. We have not lost anybody through the whole season so far. So 0 turnover, which is pretty incredible too, because there's nothing worse than training somebody, investing that time with them, and then losing them, especially in the month of November. So if you're struggling right now, you're not alone. We're struggling. I mean, I've been posting on social media, sending out emails to our current clients and prospects asking for help if they know of anybody. And we're getting crickets right now. So we're grateful for the team that we have, but we could definitely use 4 or 5 more. And starting All Is Bright, the walkthrough show, I've got less than 3 weeks to get that thing fully operational by the Friday of Thanksgiving. And I'm pretty behind right now. Confident we'll finish that, but it's just the chaos. I mean, it's kind of like we do this to ourselves. We know what we're about to get into, go into the season, and we give ourselves 10 months to relax and breathe. And for most of us, really October, especially November, is where we just realize, like, holy cow. I thought I was prepared. I thought I was being proactive, and here I am being reactive and just stressing out like crazy. Let's see here. Cody, Merry Christmas. Cody, man. Cody's like, I love Cody. He's local, loves Christmas, and he's a good guy. I hope you're doing well, Cody. Hope the new job is going well. T2, happy Sunday. So I don't see your names if you're not sharing through StreamYard or giving StreamYard to grant permission for your name. But please, if you want to talk about anything, go ahead and drop a comment below. Let's see here. Can you talk about your process from phone call to schedule? What does your process look like from vetting design? Yeah, so we did change up our process a little bit this year, in the fact that we pretty much have somebody in-house from 7 o'clock in the morning till 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. And by office, I mean answer the phones within our company internally. We have somebody in the office from 7 till 5. And then really from 12 to 8, we have a virtual rock star that we were able to hire from Unique Genius with Angela's company. And that has been incredible and instrumental for making sure that we're not spending money on these leads, whether it's Google ads, Facebook ads, them submitting a request over the weekend and then trying to follow up with them during the week, because we found a lot of gaps that we were missing. We would try to reach out to the customer, couldn't get the phone call to answer back or send us a message to schedule the estimate. So we were just wasting money. So by bringing that virtual rock star into our team, we were able to close that gap. So as we're getting leads on the weekends, whether it's emails, Facebook leads, or even the phone ringing, we're able to on the spot go ahead and book them for an estimate with our team. So all our estimates are done in person. I'd say 90% of them, 95%, maybe 90% are done in person with the homeowner there. Do they always show up? No, but we do schedule it for the homeowner to be there. We do a small percentage of ours virtually, but that's usually if it's a further away project, maybe outside our normal working area, and something that, we know it's going to just be, let's just say, we just want to get that estimate out there. We don't want to drive 90 minutes for an estimate like that. And we know that we may be in that area in the near future to be able to do the install. So, that's so important for everybody to be able to have a process to answer that phone. If you're leaving that phone in the truck, or if you're on the roof and doing an install or talking to a customer and going to voicemail, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, think about what your closing percentage is. If your closing percentage is, I'd say the typical average is about 30%. Let's just say 25% to make it easy for numbers right now. And your average ticket is $1,500. For every 4 calls that you're missing, you're losing out on $1,500 because you're not answering that phone call. And if that customer is like me, I'm not waiting for you to call back. So they're going to somebody else. So think about, the cost or the expense, the investment of having somebody answer the phone for you, having a stay-at-home mom, a friend, get a call answering service to do that. For every 4th call, one of those 4 calls, that's $1,500 you can be putting into the company. And that's not what you're paying somebody to answer those phones. So it's super important. You still have time to think about this over the next 3 weeks. This is like prime time. If your phone didn't start changing, the leads start changing November 1st, that's probably because they don't know how to get a hold of you. So make sure you're doing those things, social media, sending out emails. If you have another business, whether it's pressure washing, painting, lawn care, I don't care what it is, get emails out to those customers of yours, even prospects, somebody that told you no for that service. Get an email out to them, let them know what you do, and get your number out there, because people right now are thinking about your service. Yard signs, you could be paying $3 to $4 a yard sign to get those out there. It's not a $3 investment. It's a $1,500 investment, a $2,000 investment. Whatever your average ticket is what that 1 yard sign is worth, because you never know what, excuse me, I got to plug my computer in. Angela told me to get ready, and I did not get ready. So I'm getting ready now. So yeah, that's part of the process. Hopefully that works for you. And as far as once they get out there, we want those in-person estimates so we can get in front of the customer, really see what they want those lights for. Nobody wants lights. They need lights. I mean, some people want them up just because they want to be the best house in the neighborhood or whatever it might be. But get in there and be able to shake hands and talk to the customer and really see what they need is super important. Let's see. Joe, of course I love you. You're my favorite, buddy. We do have call scripts. Again, I don't know who some of you guys are. I apologize. We do have call scripts, and we have call scripts that our staff uses for doing cold calls for commercial estimates. Call scripts are super important because you want to stay consistent on everything, whether it's a call for a new lead, whether it's a call for a cold call, whether it's a call for somebody calling to schedule, if it's a call for even a customer calling to complain or have an issue. You want to have a call script so that's consistent throughout the whole process. And God forbid you have to hire somebody new or fill in a position because you're getting busy. They already have something in place to be able to follow through and talk to that customer. All right. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to just drop in. I've got somebody I want to jump in here real quick and talk about some stuff. And And we're going to bring in Jeremy here. Oh, I don't know what I just did. Here we go. Mr. Jeremy, are you here?
Yeah.
Get you on here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There he is. Jeremy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Been a stressful week, but it's going good.
Awesome. Jeremy, I've known your wife for years, and you guys are down in Georgia.
Correct.
Why don't you tell us a little about your company and what you got going on?
Well, this is our 6th year in business, and it just started off just doing like some friends and family. And I thought it had grown at a pretty good rate until I heard you speak there in Nashville, and then I realized that it was peons compared to how fast you grew. So, and it's definitely been a learning experience. Like as far as like going in the field and figuring out how to do all that, it came pretty quick and was very successful. It's the more of the back office stuff, and as it got more and more customers coming in, is figuring out the best way to process all that. And then one thing I listened to you had posted, I think, a call or a video a couple weeks ago on Facebook that I watched. I don't remember who you were with, somebody, and you talked about you talked a little bit about the personnel, and this was the first year that I got to the point where I felt like I needed to hire someone besides just to be in the field to help with everything else, like what I call the back office stuff. And unfortunately, I think I was too late in the game trying to do that. I did interview 3 people, but I felt like at that point, the investment to try to get them to where I felt like they would need to be, as an asset or to contribute, it would take away too much. So, yeah, I definitely missed the boat on that, and that's something that's going to be a big priority. So, because the big thing, I don't feel like we can get quotes turned around quick enough. Like I'm doing them all myself, and I also drive a school bus, which is like 6 hours a day. So, yeah.
Are you doing all yours in person or virtually?
No, I try to do them virtually. I actually just messaged you about that. If you have someone, a point person, that when a customer is pushing to go, prefers to do the face-to-face. I used to always try to do them face-to-face because I felt like the close rate on it was better when I had that personal experience and I could show them some examples and stuff. But, it just got too many or just too busy where I couldn't do that anymore. So I do when it's like a little bit, I know when it's going to be a larger install or a commercial install, I still go to those. But otherwise, when a customer inquiries through social media or the website or directly to me, I basically just have a blurb that I copy and paste, and it says in there that if they prefer a face-to-face, we can do that and show them some examples. But only about I think probably about 1 or 2 out of 10 still want that. They prefer that face-to-face. And normally when I send them their quote, with the markups for the quote, I also will send a couple of picture examples. So. But the ones that go through the website, since it has pictures on it and stuff, they don't seem to be as needed as much, but it's definitely something that I try to determine because I feel like the close rate is better if we go person to person, but then is it worth you also have to allocate the payroll and stuff like that, trying to figure out if it's worth it or not.
Yeah. And, I just talked to somebody that's in Beyond the Bulbs, and he just did 2 virtual estimates today or yesterday, I believe it was. And he closed both of them because he had the same thing, like kind of, his capacity. He's not at capacity. He needs jobs tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he's got 10 estimates on Monday. But by the time he got to those estimates, it'd be the following day. So he just said, hey, let me just try this and get him out there. I think there is a time and a place for virtual. And I think if you do it right and the proper communication with the customers, you can be very successful. It's something we're really going to try next year. We found this really cool software couple weeks ago when we're out in Kentucky that we're going to start using a virtual assistant. And over the next couple weeks, I'm going to have them start estimating roof line for me for all leads that we get in there. And as my sales guys go out there, I want them to measure it so we can compare apples to apples of what they're measuring and see what the percentage off they are. I figured we'll probably be about 10% doing them virtually. So we'll take that into consideration when we're doing our quotes. But I think if you deliver a really good presentation and package showing them exactly what you're getting, you could have a high close percentage. I'd love to see other people who are doing virtual. I know a lot of people are doing it very successfully. I just like to see a way to make it more fluid and on the back end, so that as we get leads, like I said, we got a bunch of leads, and we had our virtual rock star take those leads over the weekend. She could be measuring them up and doing the design for us, so that when we come to the office Monday, all we have to do is the presentation for the estimates virtually and start trying to close them that way.
So when you say virtually, are you like talking to them like this, or you're just communicating via email?
Oh yeah, just like this on Slack. I was just talking to her, and
Yes, I never even thought about doing like this. Never thought of it till just now.
Yes, even Brandon just said virtual, very successful, and I see like a ton of success for it, and that's why we're really going to focus on that come 2024, is really push that and make a system so that we can just kind of hand it off to companies and have the whole training process for them to hire somebody and just do a plug and play. They just need to plug into, your company name, your processes, and all those things. But as long as you have good SOPs right now, and we can transfer it over to the virtual assistant, the learning curve is very small at that point. They're very efficient at what they do, and they're working at night while you're sleeping, doing all these things for you. Let me see. He says, I got Brandon. I think I'm closing at 90%, a little less for others. Yeah, that's really high. If you're at 90%,
that's really good.
Yeah, I don't know anybody. That's really good, Brandon. So yeah, just getting those SOPs, and I mean, it's still not too late, Jeremy, to get somebody hired and help you out with that process. And if you're driving the school bus, who's answering the phone for you right now?
Voicemail. My wife is a little busy right now. She won't take the calls for whatever reason.
She doesn't respond to me.
No. So that's that, for 6 hours of the day, the early morning, I'm normally done by about 9 a.m. So that's not really the problem. But in the afternoon, it's from 1:45 until 5:30 or 6 o'clock before I, get back to it. So definitely, if it's that rate you're talking about, that, and our average ticket is probably about 1,500 to 1,800 that you're talking about, and if we're missing one out every 4 calls, we're losing money right there. So,
I mean, well, since you're doing this and you're getting the voicemails for your customers, what's your callback success? Are you getting everybody, or are you getting 20%, 30%?
We're about 30% this year. And that's been pretty consistent.
Not closing, but like of calling them back after the voicemail.
I normally get everybody called back, and I normally try to get it back that evening, but it also depends if what other fires are going on that might need to be put out, or, trying to juggle all of it myself. Like right now, I have normally between like 7 and 10 guys in the field. We normally just run crew. And unless I go do, like I have one guy that runs the crew, and then like myself and my son, and normally we'll take 1 or 2 people, but I normally can still only hit about 5 a week, myself, just because of the schedule. And so this is the first year though that we've gotten where I got everybody from last year came back, and so they do work very efficient, and especially whether it's a new install or a reinstall, the guy that runs the crew for the most part, he did the majority of the takedowns last year, so he's very familiar with it, and he's been with me now actually for 3 years. So, but I definitely feel like leaving money on the table by not being available 100%, or not having that person to be able to answer the phones. And so, and that you mentioned a while ago about having a company that can answer a phone service, that's something else. Like I never thought of, just the business side of things like that. I don't think of sometimes. So until I hear,
is your company phone your personal cell phone number?
Yeah. My cell phone. No, I have a business number. I have 2 phone numbers on my cell phone. I have my personal and then the business. But it's definitely because, and I just did that last year when decided that I wanted to have a local area code number, because my area code number was from Dallas, Texas. So that's why I switched to that. So, so I do have, it does come to my phone, but it's still my personal phone. Yeah.
Yeah. And then as far as follow-ups, how are you working that? Are you just sending the estimate out? If they don't accept, are you just kind of like, well, next? Or
No,
what do you do?
I have. I started using Jobber this year. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with it. Roz has been trying, get me to use it for a couple of years. So I have it set now that after I send the quote, it automatically sends a follow up 3 days, and that's pretty much the only follow up I do that I have time for. I let it do that, and then let them either get back to me, say yay or nay, or just if I don't hear back from them, I'll close it out eventually. So, but yeah, just because I don't have the time built in to be able to like call everybody back and touch base, it's normally whether that if I see that they don't actually view the quote, because it'll let me know if they viewed it or not. If I see that they actually not viewed it, I would try to send them a quick email or however I communicated with them originally. Like if they had messaged me via text or Facebook or email, I'll reply back to them and say, hey, just want to follow up, make sure you got the quote and whatnot. So, and so yeah, that's pretty much how, from a time perspective, it's definitely much less personal, than doing the virtual or going in person and stuff like that. But that I felt like that was what I needed to do because I'm still doing it all myself.
Yeah, and then as far as capacity, where are you guys out right now? Like, how far are you booked, and how much more do you need?
We could definitely take on more. We have we have more install schedule than we did this time last year, and so that's good. But we have the capability with the crews that we have, or with all the guys that we have, to take on quite a bit more actually. And we're going to do a big yard sign blast over this upcoming week and through the weekend. It's the first time I've ever used yard signs as well this year. I have two different ones. I have a smaller one that we put in the yard if the customers look good with us putting it, and so far every one of them has been okay. It's more of like the garage sale sign. It's just real simple, and then the bigger ones that are the just have like our website and free estimates with the phone number. Those are the ones we've been blasting out in areas, and it's definitely easily paid for itself. Like I said, they're like $3 or $4 a piece, and we've probably got $8,000 to $10,000 jobs off of, so so that's been good. That's the first year using those. So yeah.
Nice. All right. So, hey, here's my challenge to you. Over the next couple of days, I don't care if you're doing it on the bus and you just yell, hey, you little shits, shut up. I'm calling people. Like, just yell those kids on the bus. Get 5 people every single day for the next 5 days, like people that you send out estimates out to, and follow up with them on the phone. This is where we failed last year. This is why we brought in our Ronnie to help us with phone calls. Because one, I don't even see half the emails that come to my email. So I'm going to ignore any email that comes to me. I've missed emails that are super important just because, I got 5 emails that come through mine. So I couldn't imagine what some of these other owners or clients of yours have. So if you're relying solely on that email, they probably forgot about it. Forgot you sent the estimate, not even thinking about it. Really like getting through the day, say, hey, I really need to call that guy for the Christmas lights, but I can't, or I forgot to, or whatever it is. We get it. It happens. So pick 5 every single day over the next 5 days, Monday through Friday, whatever it is. If you get 10, that's even better. And just follow them on the phone call. Send a phone call, leave a voicemail, and shoot them a quick text and see what that does to help closing some past ones. Because, again, they already reached out to you. They want your services. They didn't take their time out of their day to just put their name and the number into your into online form, whatever it is, to try and find out about your services if they didn't want it. So go ahead and follow up with them with the phone call and with a text message. Make the text message super simple and short. Hey, this is Jeremy with so-and-so. Just want to follow up with you. I got 2 more spots available for your install prior to Thanksgiving. Did you want to take one of those? Or something of that nature. You got to get that sense of urgency onto them. And something I'll talk about once we get off. Because everybody's going to think that they're going to call you the week of Thanksgiving. Hey, I want my lights up before Thanksgiving. Okay, what day in 2024 did you want your lights up? Because you're already booked at that point. So make sure they understand that how urgent it is to book right now, because they're going to wait till last minute, and then they're going to get upset with you because they can't get on your schedule. So oh man, I was so frustrated in January when I sat down and we realized if we had 5% more that we closed because we followed up more, what our numbers would have been last year. So if it's on a break, if it's on your way to a job site, whatever it is, just give them a quick call. Just want to follow up, let you know that we only have 2 spots available before Thanksgiving. Did you want to get them right now?
Sounds good.
So let me know how that goes, though. Seriously.
I will do.
You got any more questions?
No, I don't think so. I normally get quite a bit, listening to you in Nashville and then the last call and then this call. So I always seem to hear something that I never thought of before. So yeah, I appreciate doing it.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks, man. Good talking to you. Let me know how that goes with the calls, though.
I will do.
All right. All right. So, again, if you're just joining me and you want to jump on, go ahead and shoot me a message and I'll send you a link to get on. We talk about whatever you want to. Scott, who's a very, very intelligent man. I got to meet him several times. Don't tell him I said that. But depending on time of day and placing the urgency on signing up now. Yeah, exactly what I just said. I mean, if you're not telling your customers, especially now, like how busy you are, and if they wait another day, they may not make it on that schedule prior to Thanksgiving. Like that's super important. Something that we used to do in the past was send out emails and text messages, say, hey, Team Tinsel Titans is 90% booked for the season. If you don't sign up now in the next 2 days, we can't guarantee your install prior to Thanksgiving. So we put that sense of urgency on the customer. So they're like, oh, well, I was going to wait one more week because of whatever. Now, if I don't book today, then there's a good chance I won't get my lights up by Thanksgiving. I really want to turn those lights up on Thanksgiving Day while we're cooking the turkey. So if you're not telling your customers book now, or they're just going to think they're going to call you on the week of Thanksgiving. We follow up. Yes. And that is so important. Like maybe, okay, great. I'm going to call you back. Not sure yet. Cool. We'll follow back up with you. No. All right. Thanks. We'll follow back up with you next year in January when we see we can get you on the schedule. Something else we could talk about another later date. But if it's not a yes or no, you still need to be following up. And if we're relying just on emails or text messages, what if they opted out of your emails and your text messages and they're not getting anything from you? So you think you're proactive and sending all these communications out to these prospects saying, oh, they're going to respond to this email and let us know when they're ready. But they already opted out of that email. So they're not even getting the emails from you. And you're probably really not sending the text messages. So you need to get on the phone call and get on the phone and start calling them, just like I was talking with Jeremy. It's super important to get a yes or a no, but you already paid for that lead. Whether it's through a yard sign, you pay for that yard sign. Whether it's a vehicle wrap, you pay for that wrap. So they're calling you through some source of marketing or branding that you paid for. So make sure you follow up until it's a hard no. And even when they tell you no, there's still not a no for next year. There just might be a no for now. Oh God, let me see. Geez, we have folders in our email. Anything that I need to look at goes to my email. I have 4 people in the office. Awesome. And that's great. The only emails I get from my company is when they forward them to me, but I still have 2 other personal emails. But yeah, having somebody organize your emails is super important. But yeah, we talked about sense of urgency. You need to be letting the customers know or prospects know that, hey, we're busy. We're not waiting for you. You can't call me the week of Thanksgiving. Speaking of the week of Thanksgiving, as we're getting busy or busier, we're going to want to put in as many customers as we can because we know we only have a short period of time and we want to pack in as much as we can. But it's so important right now to set expectations for your customers. If you're going to tell somebody that you're going to hang lights up for them prior to Thanksgiving, do not overschedule yourself the week of Thanksgiving. I repeat, do not overbook yourself the week of Thanksgiving. All right. I highly suggest you book yourself at 80% capacity, maybe a little bit more. But the last thing you want to do is tell Mary, Mike, Joe, Jesus, whoever it is, that you're going to get their lights hung up prior to Thanksgiving, and then it rains all week. Or 2 of your technicians quit, or your vehicle breaks down. You can't get out there. There's nothing worse than telling a client that, hey, I know we told you we have your lights up prior to Thanksgiving, but this is what happened, and we can't get your lights up prior to Thanksgiving. We'll be out there the following week. That's not what you want to be doing. In the 6 years of installing, this is our 7th year, we have never, ever, ever, ever missed an install prior to Thanksgiving. We just lighten our load a little bit earlier during the week of Thanksgiving because sometimes things get carried over from the week prior. Whatever it may be. But the last thing we want to do is show up and just have somebody out, something go wrong, and we can't get to that job. Now, we'll book Friday after Thanksgiving, Saturday after Thanksgiving, or even the following week and say, hey, if there's something that opens up and we can get you in prior to Thanksgiving, we'll move you forward. And they're fine with that. But the last thing you want to do is book somebody for Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Your crews are a day and a half behind because of weather or whatever it might be, and they can't show up to the job. And you got to call them and say, hey, sorry to ruin your Thanksgiving tradition. Your lights are not going on this year. See you Friday, see you Monday, whatever it is. Come to the 5% for New York and shit. Yeah, that's a lot of quotes, man. You guys are crushing it, Brendan. We need to get back on a call soon and talk about some stuff. Oh, boy. I don't know what just happened here. Hold on. I can't see you on my TV right now because I got this fancy setup that Angela's got going on here. Hold on. All right. I'll deal with this in a second. But good stuff there. It's not on the TV anymore. Hold on. I need technical support here. Jesus. There we go. All right. I'm back. Let's see. We booked the week after, and it's gone again. To set the urgency, and we move forward as needed. Yes. All right. So we talked about hold on. I've got IT in the house. You're on camera. Say hi. IT is here, and she is pretty. All right, I'm back. Talked about urgency. We talked about scheduling. Talked about understanding your capacity is super important. Something you should have figured out by now. It's still not too late to hire. We are actively trying to hire right now. We're struggling with that, like most people out there. But we do have an incredible team. 5 crews going out there. 2, 3, 4 are install teams. We wanted 2, 3, 4, 4. Struggling. It is what it is. We're making through. So we're just going to have to wing that. Hold on, one more thing, guys. I'm struggling. I can't figure this shit out. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Anything else? Yeah, I just want to jump on, really push that talk about sending out the capacity, send out the emails, follow up with your customers, follow up with the prospects, ask your current customers for referrals. They are your biggest champions or your biggest voice because you already did an incredible job for you. See if they can put up a post onto social media, their Facebook page, whatever it is. Oh, hold on. We got 2 more people that want to jump on. Hold on a second. Let's go find these people. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, if you have questions, go ahead and drop a comment below. Let's bring on Spencer. And I'll put Scott in the queue. See how this works. All right. But yeah, drop a comment below and let me know how your season's going. I'm excited. We just did some breakfast burritos for the team tomorrow and just try and do everything we can to keep the morale high. We know it's not easy. And my computer messed up again, so I gave up on this thing. This is why I hate technology. Somebody get me something easier than this. All right, I got Scott jumping on. Oh boy, what's up, Scott?
Your knowledge we want to drop tonight.
What? I don't know. We're just talking about just getting people scheduled right now. I hear a lot of people talking about they can get more on the books right now, and right now should be I'd like to see everybody at least 5, 6, 7 days out right now. We're at 98. I said, 95, 98% capacity before Thanksgiving. So just give me one piece of advice that you can give to anybody listening to help close more jobs right now and get them scheduled.
Call. If you got time, set personal appointments. I close 80 to 90% better when I'm there in person this time of year. The urgency changes dramatically for us and some of my competitors. One of the things we do, I have worked really hard building a network around me now of guys above me and below me so I can hand off work and receive work. So that's the big thing. Just communicate with everybody around you, including your competitors, because they're really not. Everybody wants to win. That's the biggest thing. When we don't follow up, we lose jobs instantly. So we set our follow-ups for 2 days out, and then 3 or 4 days out after that via text, and then I follow up with a phone call because I want to know. And we're booked out through Thanksgiving already, and we are typically anyway. But it's the big thing. We do a lot of commercial work that still sits sometimes this time of year. A lot of interiors. So for us, it's that. It's always that personal. Whenever you can make it personal, people will. Likability goes a long way. We're in a business that's high dollar, and they don't move Christmas. You and I were talking real quick this morning. I went out on a job that I didn't prepare for correctly and pulled the plug early this morning and said, all right, I'm going to go home, and did some site visits, right? And it was a bunch of banners that we took over this year from one of my competitors, and I didn't do a site visit. So it cost me time and energy today on a Sunday. And typically I like going out and doing that stuff just like you do. We love getting up in that lift. That's where my phone gets turned off and I get to relax. Everybody goes, really? You work? Yes. I still love it at 57 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so important because, again, we just, as business owners, we just think that the follow-ups are getting done. They're getting the emails, they're getting the text messages, and they're not responding to us, but they're not. They're not seeing that. It's likely they're seeing the text messages, but they could be at work and they forget about it and they don't think about it later day. So it's got to be multiple points of contact. You can't just rely on one source for them to say yes or no.
So that's perfect, JC. So here was a perfect case. I sent out a commercial bid. We were asked to bid it last minute because whoever was doing it dropped the ball. It was 18 pieces of 12 pieces of garland on a bunch of entries. Came in at like 40. Full disclosure, it was a $4,300 job of garland. We could do it and self-perform decorated garland in-house. We did. I didn't follow up with a phone call. Jobber followed up, and the first bid got lost in their email on their side in spam, and called me up and increased the budget to where we were by another $1,500. It was right. I mean, it was. But that's because the automated system doesn't always work. It's the whole thing with virtual and anything else we do. You always got to have somebody, 2 feet in a heartbeat has to be in the office or virtually picking up a phone and talking to those clients, because the sense of urgency goes up tenfold when you talk to them. Right? When you're talking to a client, how does it sound versus when you're talking to your employees? In your buddies, it's completely different. I can take and change my tone instantly. Mrs. Smith, I understand that you really want to get this done, and I'm not the cheapest. I can take and tell you I'm the best in town, though. And just changing that a little bit, Mrs. Smith will probably sign with me because she likes me. And stop talking.
All right, I lost you there, Scott. Sorry, man. I'm having internet issues today. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. All
right. Well, let me jump on. I appreciate you jumping on, man. You're always full of knowledge and wealth, and it's great talking to you today. Appreciate you giving me a call. And let me get Spencer on here real quick.
You got it. We'll see you.
Take care, buddy. All right, Spencer.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. I was just out here screwing up a couple bulbs and getting them laid out and get them put up on the house this week, man. But I just want to jump on. I didn't catch the guy before Scott, his name early, but I saw that what he was talking about. Jeremy. Okay, and man, I just want to bounce off of that because having somebody putting systems in place and putting people in place is super important. Last year was our first year doing the lighting business, and we just weren't really prepared. We didn't really know what to expect, and it was just me and my business partner Steve. And man, like we just kind of hit the ground running, and I mean we survived. I mean, but we ended up doing, I think, like 32 installs within like 3 weeks, which we didn't do our first one till like the very mid to late November is when we got started. But we ended up, I mean, we going back after the season and looking at how much business and potential was lost, whether it be somebody reaching out to us and emailing us asking if we could just change some stuff, or you know, hey, let's add this or add that. Like, you know, just having people answering the phones or emails and stuff. I mean, it just got lost. So having people answering the phones or like checking emails or Facebook posts or anything like that is really important, because, you know, Christmas lights, we have a very, very small window. So it's very important to have people, you know, and this year we kind of learned, obviously, through the guidance from you and like all the guys from Clippa, and you know, putting people in place, you know, and having the virtual assistants to help us out has been tremendous, not only in Christmas lights but in our other businesses as well. But yeah, man, just and one thing that I've realized is me and Steve decided to kind of split the priorities and the responsibilities in the business. Me handling all the sales, him handling operations with the guys, which we have enough for 2 crews going out. He handles that, and then I handle all of the sales and the follow ups, and just being able to call people back, like you said, and what you and Jeremy were talking about with the follow up system is very important, especially how small of a window that we truly have in this business. So yeah, and Jeremy, I don't know if he's still listening, but you know, reach out to JC and Angela about maybe a VA to help you out. Just whether it's vetting phone calls or helping you respond to emails, or just creating that spreadsheet, even if they're not answering the phones for you, listening to voicemails, jotting information down for you. That way you have it all there, so you can, whenever you call back, you're prepared. And you're not missing any steps or wasting time. It's very important, and because I mean, I think Steve and I just kind of off a number off of our head, we probably left probably $80,000 on the table last year, just because we just weren't prepared. We didn't have the people to answer the phones, didn't have systems in place. So especially in this business, get your systems in place. This year, last year was just him and I and his wife doing it. This year it's him and I, and we have like 12 other people, teammates, from the top all the way to the bottom. So we're ready, and obviously we've already done like 22 installs, I think, already this year. You know, some returning as well, but you know, we're off to a good start. So systems and processes is definitely important.
You mentioned the virtual assistant, and oftentimes I hear it from the companies out there, the guys that are just doing solo installs or just trying to find somebody, and it's I can't afford to hire somebody right now. What do you have to say to that?
Man, so honestly, like just trust the fact that you can, because you can't afford not to hire them. And JC, I think I've heard you say this before, but man, like truly, I mean, in any aspect of your business, if that phone is ringing or somebody's trying to email you or text you or get a hold of you, if you're not responding to them, man, they're going to somebody else. And if you have other competitors in your thing, you know, it goes back to time frame. People, whenever people are calling the day before Thanksgiving, they wanted it done 2 weeks ago, but they just didn't call you, right? So like this is a very urgent based system, and people need answers. So don't be afraid of that. Hire the people, put the people in place, and you will thank yourself later. And so will your wallet. So
Yeah, because if you're able to close, let's just say even 5 more jobs, and your average ticket's $2,000 a month, that's $10,000 of revenue you were brought in because you hired that person. Even if it's part-time, a part-time stay-at-home mom, you know, whatever it may be, you could find somebody to answer the phone for 20 hours a week. Just figure out what your prime time calls are. And that's why it was so important for us to get somebody on the weekends to be able to answer phone calls and respond to emails, because of a lot of our leads are coming in Saturday and Sunday. You know, they're talking to their neighbors, they're out, they see the yard signs out there, whatever it may be. So that's where their time is off, and they're going to spend that time to fill out the form online, call the office. So by being able to capture them right there and answer the phone with an actual human versus getting a voicemail, we're able to instantly go ahead and book that person for an estimate. And what was happening in the past before, we used the call answering service and they were great, but they would just capture the information for us. Then we'd have to follow up with them to set the estimate. And then the time it took for us to follow back up with them on Monday, you know, now not only did we pay for that call answering service to do all these things for us, so that was money spent. Now our office has to take time Monday on our busiest day to follow up with these customers and try and reach out to them while they're at work, wait for them to call back. Oftentimes we didn't hear back from them. So we're spending money twice now to not even get that lead to, follow through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's very important to capture that call anytime somebody's interested. And like you said, man, on the weekends, Monday to Friday, people are ripping and running, and they're like, "Oh, I'll sit down and fill out that form on Saturday, or I'll give them a call, whenever I'm not doing nothing." And yeah, so I mean, it's very important. And like you said, I mean, just whatever your average ticket is, can you afford to just paying that virtual assistant, or even just somebody just answering the phones? You can't afford not to get them on board, because people are waiting, man. They want those Christmas lights up. Yeah, Halloween's over and people are dying, man. They're ready for Christmas. So
Yeah. So, all right. Do you think it's still early? I'm not sure what you mean by early. Early in the season from the booking. So if you want to follow up with that, comment there. But no, it's not too early, and that's part of that sense of urgency, so that you're letting that prospect know, hey, I'm telling you right now, I'm not trying to just blow some smoke up your ass right now, but we are really booked. And if you're not going to go ahead and confirm and accept that, that estimate right now, I can't guarantee you when you call me in 2 days, there's going to be an opportunity for you to have your lights installed prior to Thanksgiving. So no, it's not too early. And if anything, you're doing your client a disservice by not telling them this, because again, they think that you've got infinite employees and you can install lights up until Thanksgiving Day, and you're going to be out here carving the turkey with me while hanging lights. No, that's not the case. I can't tell you how many times we get calls the week of Thanksgiving and say, hey, we want lights up by Thursday. You're crazy. Like, no, not even a maybe. So whether it's in your social media posting, your emails to your prospects, wherever it is, like, it is so important. I even told the office the other day, I was like, hey, anybody who hasn't booked from last year, like, I need you to tell them, like, there's 2 more spots available. I'm not even kidding. Like, I want to take care of you. We want to make sure you're a valued client of ours. We want to get your lights up. I get it. You're busy. You haven't had a chance to call, but let them know, because we want to take care of them. And I hate it that they're going to call this week and they're going to want their lights installed prior to Thanksgiving. And we're like, well, we've called you 8 times over the last 4 months, emailed you, text you, and it's too late now. So how about the week after Thanksgiving? So it is important that you're letting your clients know, your prospects know, they're running out of time. It's not a sales gimmick. It's not me just trying to, whatever. This is the truth, that you do not call me on Monday of Thanksgiving expecting your lights hung by Thanksgiving Day. So awesome, man. I saw you got some lights out. You sent me that picture earlier. You go in the red and green, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, the kids wanted red and green. Last year we did red and white, and then this year, we're doing like a whole little Grinch theme. We have like putting like Grinch up, hanging off the roof, and got a little Max inflatable out in the front yard. So they're super excited. So yeah,
awesome. I usually let my kids pick out the color pattern every year. Last year I had the office surprise me while I was gone, so I expected something really atrocious, and it was actually really cool. It was blue, cool white, warm white, and it was actually really awesome the way it came out. So
it is cool, man. That's very cool.
Wanted that. All right, you got any other questions, Spencer? You guys are crushing it right now. I love you and Steve. And for anybody that's like partners or looking to partner up with somebody, I personally only know a handful, not even a handful, maybe 3 or 4 of very successful partnerships out there. You and Steve, hands down, one of the top 2. Brett and Ryan, the other one. And you guys have an absolute incredible way of working that visionary integrator roles together, and so proud to be friends with you guys. Happy to hang out with you guys a couple weeks ago and meet your fiance and hang out with Steve and his wife on their anniversary. So I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man, it's always a pleasure, JC, and we can't thank you enough, man. You've been great. And all the guys listening here, man, like, JC is full of knowledge. Just really grip onto what he's telling you guys. He's here to help you. And honestly, I'm here to help as well. If I can do anything for you, I'm always here. So reach out. And JC, I appreciate you having me on, man.
You the man, buddy. We'll talk soon.
All right, brother. Hey, take care, man. Bye.
All right. Yeah, Todd, get on the call with them. Let them know, and just like I was telling Jeremy, call, and just watch them close, and take account though. Like, see what that does by send that urgency to them. Call them, leave the voicemail. send them a text message and even send them an email, but get that hard no. Don't wait for them to follow up with you because they're busy just like you are. And they're going to call up when it's convenient for them, inconvenient for you and your team because you're already booked. So you don't want to set them up for failure by saying, I'll wait for them to call me. And then they call and say, oh, I can't help you. So, all right. We talked about a lot of great things. I think as we roll into November, it is the 5th of November. Tomorrow's the 6th. So really, let's look at the calendar right quick. All right. You guys have, if you're working just Monday through Friday, you have 5, 10, 13 working days left to get as much lights up as possible. If you're pulling the Saturdays, you have 15. Hopefully most of you aren't working Sundays. I know some of you out there are doing that, and it definitely burns you out. I've been there and done that. But you have 13 prime time days of weekdays to get these lights up for your customers. So don't wait for that phone to ring. Follow up with them. Send the emails, the phone calls. They'll let you know if you're being annoying. All right. You'll go straight to voicemail, whatever it is. But until you get that hard no or yes, let's get scheduled, you need to be doing that and calling them. We'll do. These are all pre-qualified leads. I don't know why they haven't booked. They're busy, man. They're busy. Maybe they got sticker shock. It could be a bunch of different things. You just never know. I mean, we get pre-qualified leads all day, but our closing percentage is probably around 30%. And I know there's plenty of companies out there that are, have a higher closing percentage of that. And that's fine. Run your company how you have to do it. We just know the numbers we need to hit, and we're on target to hit those numbers this year. And everything that I've talked about today was just my advice. Everything that's worked for us. Does it mean it's the perfect way of doing it? Absolutely not. If you have a better way of doing things, I would love to know. Let's share it so others can win and grow their companies and have successful years. But I love what everybody's doing out there in a bunch of the different Christmas-like groups. I really appreciate seeing all the pictures of everybody up, posting their first year, second year, third year, lights getting up there and all the good advice. But I just really want to help a few people by talking about the things you should be doing in the next few weeks to set yourself up for success. It's Sunday. I need a drink. Merry Christmas, and we'll talk soon.